Today will be one of the most important days. Actually, yesterday was, but today's analysis will be for a variety of reasons. Candace Owens just dropped yet again another installment in the truth mosaic regarding more reason, more indisputable, absolutely glaring, lucid, pellucid reasons to just destroy this narrative, this stupid narrative that everybody, from everybody in TPUSA to Erica to even Don Jr. to Probiotic to all of these people who sit there cat turd and who don't even know what to say anymore. I guess they got to keep pumping something out, calling Candace somehow what, a lunatic or a psychopath. I mean, they're done. It's over. They've hit the wall. That's number one. Number two, there's a wonderful glaring admonition. I talked to my good friend Barron yesterday. We will be perhaps reconnoitering next week, so stay tuned with that. His work is just exemplary. And third, and a kind of related story, but what it goes to show you is our relentless search for the truth and justice. Anthony Fauci is going to now face perhaps the closest thing to any attempt on our part to bring him to justice, and he pleads the fifth throughout the entire realm. That means nobody's granting him immunity. He has been targeted. Oh, absolutely. And he's very smart to do it because he knows they're circling. They know we've had it. And the question is, people like Biden and others, I hope we will have learned a lesson. But to see this sniveling, squirming ferret, this weasel, this liar, this mendacious felon who was responsible for a level of harm to humanity. I'm not saying this is genocide. And I think sometimes that word is used a little too much. Not the reasons why you think, but crimes against humanity, absolutely. Working with foreign governments, gain of function research, working as an intel dupe, pocketing all that cash. I think he made at one point, he was the richest or the most highest paid government, I think, employee, more than the president, with the greatest pension. I mean, this guy and his wife, I mean, he thought he got away with murder. And we're going to begin, so get ready. Now listen, I want you to think about this. I don't know what you need to hear from me that there is something very serious happening. We've been talking about this. If you're not listening to the words of Mearsheimer and others regarding what's happening in terms of the Strait of Hormuz and the Bab el-Mandeb and what this is going to do for fertilizer and crops, we haven't seen this yet. Food preparation, emergency preparation. They used to laugh at it and call it prepping. It is here. And if you're not paying attention to this right now, so just listen. The world is about to explode. Wars expand, shipping lanes close, supply chains break, fuel and fertilizer prices surge, crops fail, power grids go down, and then you reach the grocery store and guess what? You find nothing left. Could you go 1 week without your local grocery store? A month? 6 months? That could never happen, right? No. Famous last words. So what happens when there's a blackout or a cyber attack or a storm or a quarantine or a shelter in place, an order that traps you at home? Panic is not a plan. Preparation is. And I'm not talking about banana chips and beef jerky. My Patriot Supply's 6-month emergency food supply provides you right now with more than 2,000 calories a day, 22 meal varieties, and food designated to last up to 25 years. call it conspiracy theory or tinfoil prepper lunacy. You know I'm right. I know I'm right. Save $250 right now. Click the link below. Prepare with Lionel now. I don't think words can explain the feeling of delight that I have. It's a wonderful feeling of vindication. When years, those of us who toiled alone. And by the way, it was different. It was a little bit different by the old days regarding 9/11 and how we said, "Hey, this case is weird." Oh no, it's not. Oh yes, it is. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, no, this is very, very strange. And now we're finally getting it because people are talking more about it. I know that Tucker did an incredible piece regarding next CIA person about Building 7, and so finally we're getting a little bit of something, a smidgen of justice. But yesterday, Candace, as you know, put this great piece up. We're going to go through this right now. And if it wasn't for her and her access, she is just the funnel. She is and I'm not using this in the Stu Peters case, because in as much as everybody says, "Oh, thank you, Stu," and I understand what he's trying to do, I don't like when people say, "Candace, be careful, because I know things now that place your life in danger." I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't want to remind people. I don't want to tempt fate. I don't want to talk about it. You don't have to. You don't have to. But it's almost like you're saying, they're coming for you and your family. Say, how do I say this? Don't give people any help whatsoever. I would much rather take the collective view of, no, your safety is not a question. We understand it. It's like anything else, watch out for signs, watch out for this, but you're going to be just fine, because believe it or not, admonitions can turn into directives before you know it. And there's another thing too, and I want to say this very carefully. Everybody today wants to pretend, again, I'm being very generic. Everybody, well, a lot of people, strike that. A lot of people want to pretend that they are the siphon, that they are the magnet for inside info from deep and dirty and dark and dank, the underworld who contacts me because I know they come to me and I learn things from my sources. They don't have any sources. What are you talking about? I'm not saying Stu or anybody in particular. I'm just saying there's this tendency, to act as though they're the. I've listen. You got to understand. Listen, I tell you this because I've been doing this for so long. It's the same. They did this with 9/11. They do this with everything. No matter what, whether it's Watergate, whether Vietnam, there's always somebody who says, "I know because my sources." You don't have sources. What are you talking about? No. I'm in. They come to me. They come to you. Yeah, they come to you. So you can go on the air and say this. So I'm just saying. Listen. A lot of times people on the air, what we're doing, they always want to promote their show. I understand. I'm so important, and I'm the one who look. Humility, represent, put yourself into perspective. Don't lose your mind. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, that being said, let's watch this very, very, very carefully. And some of this thing has been a bit edited, but nonetheless, watch this, and we'll kind of go through this again, because I like, as you've probably noticed, much to your chagrin and dismay and annoyance, I like to sometimes go back and look at things, because when you see it the first time, you're not really paying attention. So we have Barron, and I want to go through the Fauci testimony today to give you an idea, an insight as to what that's about. So here she is. You know where you love her.
That he has in the footage is completely removed. So
yes, the limp. Remember this limp. Just remember, in case you just tuned in. He has a 3 foot. I don't know how long this this rifle is. He's got to shove it down his pants. Shove it down his pants. Remember the expression, is that a gun in your pocket or are you just happy to see me? Well, this is a substantial, you got to understand, where is this? And also keep in mind that if you're going to take this thing, this rifle, it's hard to hide it. It's got a scope on it. It's a 3 foot, I don't know, whatever, Mauser 98 with a scope. It's a pretty significant piece of firepower. So just remember this. So anyway, sorry for, look at this. I interrupted like a second into it. I apologize. Mea culpa.
This limp that he has in the footage is completely removed. So let's watch that.
There we go. No, wait. Just watch. Watch this right now. Be prepared to see the clearest 4K evidence you have ever seen. It's the most incredible. Watch this. The clarity, the limpidity, the lucidity, the pellucidity. Watch this and be amazed. Watch the left side. There he is. See, that's it. That's Tyler. That's him. It's perfect. Same height, weight, color, disposition, even gait, stance, posture. That's it. Say no more. Where's the jury verdict? Where is it? This is guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Now watch this. Here we go. See he limping? He's got a damn rifle down his pants or somewhere. Now, do you see anything sticking out? Do you see a rifle? Do you see a scope? Do you see a butt? Do you see anything? Anything? Where's that rifle? Normally you kind of run like this. What does he have it like this? Is he worried about? Anyway, watch. That's Tyler. Oh, I saw a little something sticking out. You see that just now? Just a little. Watch it. Watch. I thought I saw. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. Okay, watch. There it is. Going across the gravel. There it is. Such clarity.
Now what happens?
I'm sorry, Candace. I just wonder if probiotics saw this one. I know because he was moved by the clarity of this. Moved by such. Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now what happens next is exactly as my source stipulated. Our rooftop guy begins a tactical crawl. It's actually known in the military as a lateral crawl. Let's watch that.
It's interesting. I would not have noticed that.
There he goes. And I actually do want to show you side by side so you can actually see a real military man do that alongside this person on the rooftop. Let's bring in that side by side clip. Here we go.
I've looked like this when I've dropped, a drink.
That general action right there is known as a lateral crawl. Now, you may have noted, if you're just looking at your eyes, some sort of a flash that just took place.
Pay attention.
We're going to show you that slowed down and just kind of discuss this. We've gone back and forth here. What is that? Is he pulling something out? Is it like a signal mirror? Is it a flag? Was it already on Losey Center? Is it actually something that's in the background that's just catching weird?
Indeed.
Is it a car? And we're just thinking that we see this flash, but we're just going to show you that so that it's clear. Back and forth flash there while he's military crawling. Here we go.
There it is.
There,
what was that?
and we're running that back and forth.
It's almost like a flag. See when it goes back? It's like it looks like a
Okay.
Doesn't it look, rather than a flash? Doesn't it look almost like a white flag, like almost a surrender flag? But it's not flapping. Could be anything.
So you now have that. Next up, what you are going to see is that
Now somebody says the flash is a car. Okay, let's watch this.
There, and we're running that back and forth there.
That's a car. The flash is a car driving past, already proven. That's a car. Somebody says this is a car. Let's try this again, Columbo.
Flash there while he's military crawling.
Watch this.
Here we go.
That's a
there, and
car.
we're running that back. And
It's not a car. A car? Who says that? A car? It's not a car. Look at it again. It looks almost. Can you see it right now? It looks almost like the top goes. Look at me. I'm pointing. How am I pointing at? You can't see my screen. The top looks straight line, like a flag cut diagonally. Goes straight across and then down to the right. It looks almost like a triangle. See it? Like a white triangle. You see this? You see this? Let's look at it again. It's like a white triangle.
show you that so that it's clear. Back and forth flash there while
Isn't
he's
she
military
great?
Crawling. Here we go.
God love her. There it is. There it is.
There, and we're running
And,
that back and forth
No
there.
car. No. It's almost like you know what it's like. You know how sometimes when a pizzaiola, you know what I mean. You know, when they throw it looks like he's waving it. You know how sometimes in competition they wave the pizza this way and then sideways. That's probably one of the stupidest explanations, but call me. Maybe it's my New York influence. A
Flash there
pizzaiola.
while
One
he's
more time.
military crawling. Here we go.
There it is. See,
There, and we're
flashes
running
it.
that back and forth there.
it's almost like it. Yeah. It's almost like it's waving
Okay.
something.
So you now have that. Next up, what you are going to see is that it's going to look as though as he gets into position
I got to keep saying, what is this car? All
and
right.
completes this lateral crawl, that he thrusts something forward in a way that my brain told me it looked like he was unfolding a
Mhm.
gun.
Yep.
Truly, that's what my brain told me. Maybe it's because I had this guy and he told me about a fold AR. I don't know, but it's not definitive. that's me narrating.
Okay.
I'm happy for people to disagree and debate what is seen. But let's just watch that portion here.
Please do. There it is. Yep, you're right. It's like he's rolling out almost like, you know what this looks like? You know when, have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen a professional chef's knives? Have you ever seen like, they roll this thing out? It looks like they bring in a tube or a like a bedroll or a sleeping bag or something. It's kind of rolled up, and then you untie it and you unfold it, and there's all the knives. It looks like it's unfolded that way, or maybe it's a sedan. I don't know.
But let's just watch that
Yes.
portion here.
Yeah. Yep, it's like he's rolling it out. Watch it. There we go. See, a flop.
Go. Something
Do
forward.
it again. It's like a
We can
flop.
watch that again. Something
Yep.
forward. Again.
Yeah, a towel. Correct. Somebody says a towel. I think a towel.
But more
Something wrapped up.
importantly than what we see here is what we're not going to see here. So remember, this is supposed to be a German 98 Mauser family heirloom gun.
Yeah. And that somebody told me, did I read this correctly? That might not even be the gun, but a gun. I don't know.
Used during World War I and World War II. That'll effectively take your shoulder out when it's fired. Even the newer models, if you go watch people shooting, they're like, oh, my shoulder. And if you're looking through a scope, as he allegedly was, you might even expect a black eye. You will recall that the guy who recorded the footage specifically told us that he saw no recoil. That's pretty crucial. He just saw the guy get up and run. And that would be, I would argue, or a lawyer in court, that would be impossible for this specific make and model of gun. So let's watch and see if we, with our eyes, can observe some sort of a kickback.
Now, not only that, before we do this, think about this. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be in the military. You don't have to be any of that stuff. Just use your head. You got a thing like this. Now, at what point was this taken apart with the screwdriver? I guess he got up there before he made his way. Did he take it apart? There's all this taking apart, putting together. Remember that one? He had the screwdriver. He took it apart. Well, you'll see him run later. He's running away. I'm not saying putting a bar. Wait a minute. Gotta take this damn scope off. Put the scope here. Hang on a minute. Take the bolt out. Just a minute. Got the fly screwdriver here. Take the stock off. In a minute. That sounds like when you're in a John and somebody wants it in a minute. So that's that. So I don't know where this comes from, but even if you did, you have this gun. You've got to go like this. You don't have it down your pen, and you don't shoot like that. You have to take it out, and you have to set it up, and you have to take a position. You have to aim. Now, this may not even be any of the shooting. This could be nothing. Look, doesn't look like shooting to me, but if it's supposed to be shooting, if this is what it's supposed to be, if the picture of Bigfoot moving around there, then there's a lot of stuff. Have you ever seen anybody, a hunter, a sniper, anybody? It's called aiming. It's called having something maybe to rest this. You got to take a second just to kind of see, to get the reticle, if you're even using that, whatever. This is not only one of the weirdest shots or non-shots, this is the fastest sniper who basically has a collapsible. He has like an accordion, like a telescope, like brrr. He puts it together like that. It's incredible. I don't even know. It does. There's no kick, no flash, nothing. Now you can have normally. Kicks are weird because sometimes even with a good, a rifle, even like a Barrett 50 caliber, you have but you have the sandbag. You have that little depressed, the bag you put up at the end of the barrel. You basically know you've got some time. You've got some time. This is the fastest sniper ever who has, again, a collapsible rifle. He just sticks it in his pocket and takes off. All right, I've done enough talking. My apologies.
And again, I have to apologize. This is not like Benny Johnson 4K footage, but it's at least clear enough here on your screen that you would be able to discern a strong kickback on a gun from somebody who's just laying down taking a shot. So I'm going to let this run. It's about 50 seconds.
Good.
And you just let me know if at any point you see that before
Let's see
he
this.
gets up and breaks into a sprint. Take a look.
There he is. There's Bigfoot. Okay, he rolls out his bedroll or whatever that is. He rolled it out. You got that? You got that? He rolled it out.
There you go. That's that unfolding again.
Yep. And he's getting he's pulling it out of his ass. The rifle, he's pulling it out of his ass or down his throat or something. Remember, he's got to pull out a 3 foot plus long rifle with a scope on it. Okay. Now remember, you don't see you don't even see a barrel, nothing. Watch. Nothing. He's looking, moving around there. I guess maybe he pulled it out. It could be. He sure is good at hiding. Got his feet kicking in the back there. Okay, all righty. Doing
By
something.
the way, if you are listening to this in audio, this is one of these episodes that you actually do have to go watch.
Yeah,
so
I guess he's fighting. He's aiming.
YouTube, to Spotify.
Maybe perhaps something.
Somewhere that provides the video, because this is not something that we could just produce on an audio podcast here, unfortunately.
Excellent. He's doing something there.
But
right.
This is going to run.
Okay.
We did have to obviously zoom in.
Maybe he's aiming.
Those,
maybe. All right. Doing something.
Fed timestamps, but.
And he's waiting.
See here. I have 10 more seconds.
There we go. He apparently has shot. One would think. And by the way, remember, this gun that he has is so good that even the dust and the grit and the grime and the dirt in the barrel remains after the shooting. Interesting.
Here. Okay, he is up.
Off he goes.
Anybody see a recoil? I didn't see one, but let's actually put that footage all together uninterrupted. Here we go for you guys to watch.
There he goes. He's running out. There he comes. Here we go. Here's Bigfoot. There he is. There he is. It's Lindsey Graham.
On to the rooftop. What we know definitively is he gets down into what is known as a lateral military crawl. He begins that crawl.
You know, can I tell you that? I guess maybe he's at the edge, but the guy's running. He's running. There was no lateral crawl running, maybe because he was so far back that the people down there would not have noticed, hey, there's a guy running. But all of a sudden, he runs and then says, for this last, maybe at the lip of the roof, okay, I'll do the lateral crawl. I think I would have probably kind of like not run. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to do anything to run, because when you run, this flickering, this movement might bring somebody over to say, hey, did I see something? There's a guy running with a backpack and a signal and some foil. Anyway.
Over to the right first, and then to the left, we see a quick flash. We are not sure what that flash is.
It's a car, of course. It's a sedan.
Looks like... Oh, I'm not going to read into it. There's that.
Please read into it.
Throw forward. I say fold forward. You can say throw forward, but that's definitely something being flung forward, getting into position. And here we wait for what we expect to be some sort of a kickback.
Not
Must have been
really.
When our source began recording from the side of a Losi building and said, oh, I just saw someone get up there. He's got a gun.
Now remember, he's at the lip, so now he doesn't worry about doing that parallel moving. He's just running.
He's gone.
He's not doing that lateral moving there.
What do you guys think?
Isn't she great? He didn't do that lateral move there. You think somebody? I'm shooting. Let me lateral my ass out of here. Let me back on out. You know, I don't. In case somebody hears a crack of a gun, you know, and they look up and, hey, there's a guy running. I'm gonna like scoot back. You know what I mean? Now, there's a lot of things wrong with this, and you can say, well, what does this mean? What does this mean? He takes off running. I don't understand it. You can point something out. What does he roll out? What does he do? Is it a car? Is it Bigfoot? Is it this? I don't, you know what? It's interesting. It's interesting. You'll always find something. But what I'm saying is, this is the guy. Where in the is this 4K solid stuff? And by the way, did he grab the roll, the towel or whatever this thing was, this bed roll? Did he roll it out? Did he pull it back in? What did he do? What good? What? Ha! That's all I ask. Now, we can talk about this and we can enjoy ourselves and have a great and a glorious and a grand time. But a couple of things to answer. Number one, where is anybody pursuing this? Where is the defense? Where do they? I hope that if ever I were to meet them, they would say to me, "Oh, we've been on this thing since day one. Who do you think gave Candace that thing? Who do you mean? I don't know. So I don't want to presume that I know everything, because I don't. I don't want to presume that I know, but I got to tell you, it just kills me. Does this look remotely right? So what does that look like to you? What do you think? Let me read. Now, some people are listening to this thing later. Like Candace says, with this audio. What do you think? Was that the actual shooter? Was that somebody pretending? What was that? What was that? What was it? What was it? What does that represent? I don't know. Could be a lot of things. We can write down the possibilities. You got to understand certain things, like, what did he unroll? I don't know. Was it a car? Was it a... I don't know. Does it matter? No, not really. I mean, it's interesting to note. Hey, what was that? I have no idea. Maria Devon says, I loved your story about throwing ice. I shared it with so many people, including my grandchildren who were impressed with your mom. Yes, yes. She was quite the instigator at the Schrafft's Hotel, Buffalo, New York. Yes, yes, yes. Ah, yes. Yes. Thank you for that. Hear that? They love you. So here's the story. What do we do with all this? There's always going to be something that doesn't make sense. Somebody doesn't do something. Somebody's like, what? Because nothing works out exactly the way it is. Here's the story, though. And this is, once I tell you this, it makes sense. I don't care what that guy did. I want to know what Tyler did. That's the guy. Do you remember during the JFK assassination, they said that after, either at or at the moment when of the shooting, Lee Harvey Oswald was at this little lunchroom. He's having like a chicken. He had chicken and a Coke or something. He was sitting there. And he's like, hey, how are you? And he was just sitting there eating. And they said he went from the top of whatever the sixth floor of the school book suppository, whatever that was. And he ran down, there was no elevator. He ran down these steps, pulled this bag lunch out, and was eating it. And now, gunpowder. Oh, I just shot the breath. Oh my God, I shot the breath. Oh, now I gotta eat this. Oh my God. I mean, after he soils himself, they're like this. Hey Lee, how you doing? What do you got? Chicken? You want some? It's good, barbecue. It's in foil. It's very nice. Have a nice little glaze on it. Would you like one of them? They even had people, like very good athletes, try to run and ready, go. And they were trying to run down the steps without anybody in the way, without a gun, without a rifle, I don't know what, and just get away. And they couldn't even do that. They were like, they would have fallen, tripped. So it's not what this guy did. It's what he did. Where was he? And he's like this. Yes, I'll take the Chick-fil-A with the, yeah. Can I get a coleslaw with that, please? We'll never know what this is. We'll never know. We'll never know. We don't know. Now, maybe there's a way of running it through some kind of program or whatever. I don't know. Maybe some AI program. I don't know. But all I know is that we're the only ones who are on this, thanks to Candace and her friends and others. And you got to ask yourself, what really matters? What did that show? We're going to find things that are weird. We're going to say like, hey, where's the gun? So what that means is, well, guess what? That person's not the shooter. And if he's not the shooter, then who gives a shit? Okay, you just showed me a video. Well, that's what are they saying that's the shooter? Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Knock it down. Or they say, well, we don't know. That might be the shooter. So the defense has to say, excuse me, prosecution, have you seen this? Yes. Hello, Jerry, the prosecutor. Did you see the Candace show? Yeah. I would do it in a heartbeat. You work with the prosecutor, defense work all the time. The judges want you. I'd call the guy and say, hey, Larry, yeah, did you see this? Yeah, let me send it to you. What are you doing now? Let me come over. Let's look at it. What the hell is this? Because I don't want to surprise him. He doesn't want to surprise me because we want to get this so that he'll give me a plea. You don't surprise people in court. I want him to go in there. I want them to say to the judge, oh, no, I showed him this. What? Yeah. And the judge says, you knew about this, Mr. Prosecutor? Yeah. You did? Yeah. You don't do surprises. Surprise witness and all that stuff. No, because a lot of times the prosecutor would say, had I known that, I would have dropped the charges or give you a lesser included or something. But no, you were a dick by doing this. And no. So that means they should have been on the phone basically saying, does that look like a car to you? What difference does it make? I don't know. I just want to know what it is. What is that? I don't know what that is. Does that look like a gun to you? No. And this is your video of the assassin? Yeah. This is the assassin? Yeah. That ain't the assassin. I know. But Charlie's dead. Well, who got him? I don't know. You're saying this is Tyler? You got to tell me what you want. It's not what we think. We can think all day long. Was it a bedroll? What was it? Who cares? What do they say it was? And what do we say? This is Tyler. He did this. And what's this lateral stuff? And then when he gets up, he hightails it out and hauls ass out of there. You're at the edge. You're at the lip of the building. Why don't you lateral ass? Remember Serpentine, whatever it was. Was it the In-Laws? Peter Falk and Jack Lemmon. It's so we a lot of times we get caught up in the minutia, or we say, wait a minute, what does this mean? Where are we going with this? There's always going to be something straight. Wait a minute, in that picture there, Charlie looks. I mean, I keep saying Charlie. Tyler looks to be 5'10", but here he's 6 feet. And the guy next to him, he's an NBA player. Look, he's 7 feet, and he's the same size. What does that mean? Or you see that car? There's the exhausts are different. What are you trying to say? Maybe there were other. That's not the car. That's not. What does it have to do with Tyler? It goes to show you that maybe there's two parts of this. One is that the narrative is screwed up. The other one is that what does it do to exculpate or get Tyler off the hook? I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. All I know is God bless her for this. And can you imagine with the jury? Oh my, I'd give anything. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the jury. I would do the Sasquatch show. Who was it who said? Mitch Hedberg, who said Sasquatch or Yeti or whatever was blurry. He was just blurry. He was an illusion. So we're going to say, what are we supposed to do with that? What are we supposed to do with that? You know, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this reminds me. Have you ever seen those astrological charts where they have like 3 stars? Somebody goes, Orion, the hunter. It's like, what? It's 3 stars. It could be Porky Pig. How'd you get the hunter? Well, there's the arm. There's the head. There's 3 stars up there. Well, that's what this is. They want me to see Godzilla or Olivia de Havilland or whoever the hell I'm looking at. It's like, what is this? Well, that's the shooter. You think? It doesn't. Remember the picture of the Pentagon and this plane going in? It was a missile. It was, I don't know what it was, a cruise missile or this missile, whatever missile it was. It was so fast. Remember that? They go, there it is. That's not a plane. Reals it is. No, it's not. Remember they had, if this was the height of the, notice I didn't say height. If this was the height of the Pentagon, this thing goes in like, and this is slowed down. You need a one of these split frames, or what do you call these time lapse? I can't think of the name of it. You know what I'm talking about, freeze frame or something. This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. Remember when they told you that? That's not a plane. That's a missile. No, it's not a plane. No, it's not a plane. Who in the hell would have said, hey, what the hell's that noise? There's a plane. All these people walking around in D.C., driving around with cameras. Hey, get a camera. Now, one person has a picture of that in the most, the story was preposterous. It still is preposterous. I want to know what they want to do with this. It depends. Is this exculpatory? Does this get Tyler off the hook? My argument to the jury is going to be, what? What? What is this? Hey, look, what was that? That's the murder weapon. I didn't see it. Well, what are you going to do? So we have to, we have to look at this and ask ourselves, what is the jury going to be? Because it's fun to break this stuff down. It is so much fun. There are sometimes And I don't want to say this. You know, there's relevance and there's materiality in terms of the rules of evidence. A relevant means something, evidence, which has the tendency in logic to prove a material issue in fact. That's the way it's written. And at the end of it is this thing material, which means it has a bearing on the case. Okay? So you go back, it says something is relevant if it has the tendency in logic to prove or disprove something that has a, material. For example, if I were to say, the issue is rain, and somebody says, my dog came in and my dog was soaking wet. Well, that might be relevant because it showed that it was raining and the dog was raining, kind of like a circumstantial thing. But if I were to say to you, okay, that's great. Or we have this, I got her weight, and the weight that she put on the digital scale, she didn't realize it, but I had that same app and I picked up on it on my phone. Great. Only one problem. We don't care about weight. We don't care about whether it was raining. What difference does it make? That has a tendency in logic to prove rain if rain mattered, if weight mattered. So what does this mean? What does this mean in terms of the jury? The jury's going to look at you and say, what am I going to do with that? And as a defense lawyer, I'm going to say, please let this be there. Please, that's Charlie. Look like Charlie to me. And you want them to say, what is this? And then you try to tell the jury, listen, I want you to understand something. Your job is not to be the detective. Your job is to ask, do you or do you not see evidence that proves Tyler Robinson's guilt? Do you or do you not? That's all. It's like you do a pregnancy test, a home pregnancy test. And as I say, why you want to find out if your home's pregnant, I have no idea. But anyway, you just look and say, that's what it is. It says negative, it says positive. That's it. I'm not here to tell you who it was. Should they have gotten pregnant? How old are they? Were they trying? I don't know. I'm here to find one thing. Did you prove that he murdered him? So far, let's wrap it up. What do we have, my friends? What do we have? Stop right there. What do we have? We have a rifle that is inconclusive. And that's it. Before we get to this, all of this is for naught if the judge says, wait a minute, I'm not going to let that rifle in. So you understand this. So I don't want you to hear about a rifle. I don't want you to hear about taking a rifle. Why? Because I've ruled that the rifle kind of is inadmissible because there is no rifle. Like there's no bazooka. You can't introduce a bazooka. A bazooka was there. It had his DNA. No, but he wasn't hit with a bazooka. It wasn't hit with a flintlock or a musket. He wasn't hit by that thing according to the evidence. And it's also weird too because we think, well, was there an autopsy or not? We don't really know because they found something that they're comparing to the rifle bullets to determine they were inconclusive. So this is kind of an autopsy. Was this? I don't even know because we don't even know yet. Where's Don Jr. now? Get his ass in there now. You know about guns. You've been a hunter, right? You've killed ostriches or whatever the hell giraffes or whatever you kill. You know about this. This is, now imagine you're just the jury and you're wondering, what do you want me to do with that? What do you want me to do with that? I told you one time, I had a case. I was on a jury duty and I happened to, I said, I wonder if the name, just before anybody was picked or anything, I look up the guy's name. It was a murder case. And I look, and it's in the New York Post, and he's there on the closed circuit shooting this guy. It was a hit. Bang. There he is. I said, oh, my God. I didn't want to say anything. I'm not going to bring anything up. And I'm wondering, what's his defense? Unless maybe they were asking for something. That's not me? Okay, fine. So anyway, I thought, now that would have been a good one. That would have been a good one. You could have said, I'll tell you a little story. One time we had an armed robbery case. In the old day, I don't know how they do it now, but they had these at a convenience store, they had these cameras that were above the register. It looked like a speaker. It looked like a movie, like a sound speaker, like a audio speaker. It was just one. They said, "Well, is this not stereo?" Anyway, it was just one. And when you pulled the bait money out of the tray, you heard this, and it was a camera. It just took pictures. Great resolution, fantastic film. It was beautiful. This guy said, "Give me the money." And he was like leaning over the counter, and the clerk said, "Take it yourself." And he gets out of the way, and there's this guy looking into the camera like this, with his hat. So we had that picture because we heard there was a chance he was going to testify. Turns out it was a plea. Damn it! But we had this is before Kinko's. We spent a fortune having this big poster of him like this, and I kept it in my offices. And I was going to say at one point, "Who's that?" They say everybody's got a double. You know who that looks like? It looks like you. I look like you. Anyway, so where is it? It's incredible. That's all. Sparky, wait a minute, here we go. Sparky says, wasn't it Peter Falk and Alan Arkin? Oh, Alan Arkin. Yes. Up to yes. Arkin said random people would shout serpentine at him for decades after. Yes. Right. Alan Arkin. Correct. I was thinking the in-laws. Was it the in-laws? No, they were the in-laws. What was wrong with Sandy Dennis and Sandy Dennis and anyway, this bad. But you're right. Alan Arkin. Wonderful movie. Now, our good friend Mr. Barron has something very, very, very interesting to say, and I concur wholeheartedly.
I have this strong suspicion that it's going to be a really ugly week for these guys. It's going to be a really ugly week for the FEDSLOP narrative, and it's going to be a really ugly week for TPUSA. Really, really bad. You people who have committed to the mountain of evidence, and I'll give my final warning. I think this may be my final warning I'm going to be able to give you guys. You should run, don't walk.
Run, baby,
and try to get a deal. That's my take. That's my take. You should try to get a deal. She had braids on today, gentlemen.
Yeah,
braids.
Candace.
She wasn't wearing a bun.
Oh, bun.
She didn't have on a hat. She had braids. The braids. She's prepared to bring the heat, I'm afraid.
Uh-oh.
And if you guys are committed to this FEDSLOP narrative,
you're
committed to this mountain of evidence.
They are.
You're going to get caught with your pants down.
Yep.
Particularly if you're on vacation and you can't respond. It's going to be bad. I think you're in for a really, really, really bad week. It's my final warning. If you have a lawyer, it's only 6:30 Arizona time right now. Call them. It's a good time. It's a good time to put them on notice and maybe make an appointment for the morning. You're not going to be on the radio anyway.
Interesting. Now, is there any evidence that the usual suspects from TPUSA might be aiding, abetting, counseling, procuring, hiring, either as an accomplice to or a part of an act of obstruction of justice or kind of misleading or misprision of felony or whatever. Now, my defense, specifically for the epicene, that's a great word. Look it up. Blake and others is look at him. Yeah, he's involved in this. Yeah, go ahead, look at him. Oh, no. What are you going to charge him with? You're a part of this. You were there, or you just spreading bullshit. Like this guy, Cat Turd. You seen him? 4 million people on Twitter, and he keeps saying Candace is psychotic. I say, okay, well, he's just saying his stuff. He can say whatever he wants. It's his opinion, but I don't know about that. But the point is, what did they do? We don't know about. See, this is incredible. And where I know you're tired of this. I don't blame you. Where are the defense lawyers? Where's Charlie's team? I keep saying Charlie, damn it. Tyler's team. Where's Tyler's team? Where are they? They're doing all this work. I don't, because for all they know, Candace could say, look, I got better stuff than this. I've got the name of these people. Just call me. Maybe they did. I hope they did. I hope they did. And I hope Candace doesn't want to be a part of, look like she's a part of any kind of defense, which would be, there's nothing wrong with that at all, because in essence, she is a witness. She's a witness by the way of what people told her. So what, could she be called as a witness? Could she be, well, put it this way, the defense isn't going to call her. Could the prosecution call her? Why? Can you imagine how stupid that would be? What would be the basis for that? Did you tell? No, no. The only way the prosecution could ever call Candace is if, or could talk to her if it was cross-examination and she was called by the defense. No, she's like a reporter. Somebody comes to her, they give her the information, she passes it on. She's not a like Jack Anderson, famous reporters never testified. Woodward and Bernstein never testified. You know what I mean? So this is so interesting. Now. The guy that I despise more than you can imagine is Anthony Fauci. Did you see this? Oh, cat turd of disappointment. Was he one of the ones who was at the White House? With the binder. Oh man, it's so funny you say disappointment. It's funny because I agree with you. Sometimes you think like, I had that guy all wrong, or maybe who knows? I don't know. The poor guy, I feel sorry for in a weird way. I'm so shocked his Viva. Doesn't matter. I don't even know. I've never talked to him. I have no idea. I just kind of look at him like, oh, you kind of know him. Like, okay, you're a straight shooter. Even Barnes was wise enough to back off of this and say, this isn't for me. Why am I getting involved in this fight? Why am I doing this? Why are you? It's like seeing a bar fight, a street fight, and you jump into it. It's like, why are you doing this? They're going to kill you. Oh, yeah, you're right. Why are you doing this? I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm stupid, I guess. It's funny, too. Look at this. Our good friend, somebody says, yo. I used to be a huge Bongina fan. It's crazy how he flipped because he was so convincing. It's funny. You're right. There's all these people. And I still will say this, and I know you may take great umbrage at this, but I always liked President Trump. I love when he started off, and I love what he said. I loved Trump 1.0. Whatever the beta version was, or whatever you want to call it before the release. He was great. So people change. But wow. You see people say, wow, what happened to you? It's so, and the people that I thought, not that, they changed. I don't know if they changed. I keep saying Anna Kasparian. This woman, she and I used to call him junk yogurt, which is disrespectful. But I thought, would you shut up? The lefty types. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute. Regarding what's going on in Israel, the Middle East, and Gaza, they're spot on. Spot on. It's just, wow. Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. I'm sure that Max Blumenthal, who was a genius, I'm sure if I said, Max, what do you think about such as, I say, oh, there we go. Because he's a bit of I use these terms like they mean something lefty. I don't know. But I don't care look, you can like certain things. It doesn't mean that it invalidates you from the position you're making now. It doesn't mean that what you're saying now is somehow reduced to the scrap heap because I disagree about something else. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So I'm finding people that I thought I knew changed for the worse, and people that I thought I knew, I'm agreeing with. So I'm always open. I don't commit myself to a particular story or line or whatever it is. Now, let's watch this. Watch this son of a bitch. Figlio di Botana. Watch this guy.
The only conclusion I can reach is that the sole reason he is calling me before this committee is to get me to say something, anything, that could vindicate his repeated public pledges that I end up, in his words, quote, behind bars.
You are correct about that. Smartest thing you've ever said. Yes, we want your slimy, weaselly ass behind bars for what you did. Absolutely. Guilty as charged. You got a problem with that? It's called justice. You got that, tough guy? That's exactly right. 100%. Guilty as charged.
Unquote. Any reasonable person who has followed his unhinged obsession with me would readily come to the same conclusion.
He is not unhinged. In fact, believe it or not, when it comes to Rand Paul, he's probably the more sedate, dare I say, the sedate Bobby Kennedy, who, by the way, I don't know, Bobby, he's too busy with the snakes and everything. But other people as well have had you lying in their crosshairs for years. So it's not just him.
Therefore,
Listen
although it pains me to do so,
bullshit doesn't pain you at all because you've got no soul. It doesn't pain you. It allows you to slither your way out of any kind of culpability. The way the government, the way the whole industry was by having been granted immunity for a product that's going that you granted immunity. You basically said, don't worry, any particular reason that anybody would have to perhaps watch out of fear of being suing or hurting somebody else, the government took that away from you. Would you get into a Tesla if Elon Musk convinced Congress to remove or to grant him blanket immunity in case the brakes failed? Would you do that? Hell no. Of course not.
because of the respect I have for the legislative branch of government
Oh, shut up.
and my decades-long record
Yeah.
of cooperating with Congress, under the advice of my attorneys,
Right.
I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
Because even though I've been granted immunity before, that means everything that I did up to the time that the immunity was granted, not in futuro. I think Nixon was the only one. Anyway, but because this is a new cycle with a new president, a new everything, I don't have that. That was before. But now you're asking me about something new, and you can ask me about something that I did after that, something that exceeds the scope and the ambit of that immunity before. Maybe it was something that happened last week. Maybe it was something that I did recently. Maybe it was because, oh, by the way, perjury is never accepted. There's two kinds of immunity, so that you know this. Use immunity and transactional. Transactional, we don't use anymore, means we can't prosecute you at all for anything involving gain of function or whatever it is. Use immunity says, basically, in essence, this is immunity, means that we cannot use what you've testified to against you. If we have independent means of it, okay. A pardon says, forget it. Anything you did, there's pardon, commutation, sense, forget it. But a pardon says, whatever it is, they can't charge you federally. But what this does not ever exclude you from or exempt you from is lying under oath, ever. So that's at least good news. Now watch this. It gets real good.
Thank you.
Thank you, you son of a bitch.
We will now
By the way, I'm going to show you something right here.
begin a round of
I
questioning.
want you to check out this chick here. Prediction, okay? Prediction. She's kind of like an Angelina Jolie type. Somebody today, somewhere, I just saw this, is going to say, who's that? Who is that mysterious gal? Mark my words. She's a staffer. She's somebody. They put her right behind Rand Paul. Why did they do this? I don't know. But mark my words. She's going to be the subject of whatever. Who is that person? Watch. Mark my words.
Dr. Fauci, your testimony today is compelled by a lawful subpoena. As you know, it's a crime under 18 U.S.C. Section 1001 to knowingly make a material false statement to Congress.
By the way, 18 U.S.C. 1001 is for everybody. Cops, official proceedings. That's why you don't say nothing to the feds. Nothing to anybody about anything. You got that?
With a penalty up to 5 years of imprisonment. Understanding that you are under oath, the American people would like to understand your reasoning, your
Who is this
rationale
chick?
for why you chose to fund the research in Wuhan.
Watch this.
There have been
Listen.
intelligence agencies, the CIA, the FBI, the DOE, have all come to the conclusion that more likely than not, the virus came from the lab in Wuhan. And so we'd like to know what was the rationale. What
Oh,
was
no,
the
it was
discussion,
it was a
how-
wet,
you know, what went
wet
behind
market.
the decision to fund the
Pangolls.
research,
Remember that
in
bullshit?
Wuhan? How did you come to the conclusion that a totalitarian country
Yeah.
would be capable of doing this in a VSL-2 lab, a lab that lacked the security? What was the reasoning? And are you sorry, basically, for making the decision? Would you, given another chance, say, well, gosh,
Here we go.
circumstances now, as I know it, maybe
High
it
five.
wasn't a wise thing.
Here comes a
Can you
high
explain
five.
to the committee why you chose to fund this dangerous
Pangolins.
research in China?
On the advice of counsel,
Yeah,
I
you
respectfully
son of
decline
a
to answer.
bitch. What about
based
the
upon my
beagle?
rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
You rat bastard.
In the red folder on your table is a copy of Section 192 of Title II of the U.S. Code.
Which basically
Your
says
counsel's
go
been
fucking-
provided a copy as well. That section makes it a crime for a witness appearing under subpoena to refuse to answer any questions pertinent to the question under inquiry. Do you have that in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully
You don't
decline
even-
to answer.
do you or
based
do you
upon
not
my
have the
rights
folder?
Under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Let the record record that the witness has refused to answer whether there's a folder in front of him based on his Fifth Amendment right.
Yeah.
It is true that you're appearing under direction of our subpoena to provide
See the
testimony
laughing?
on matters under consideration by the committee, including the origins of COVID-19, risky life sciences research.
Okay, there we go. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't it just hang on, I get rid of this stuff. Oh God. If there is anything we can do, who writes Viva is streaming the same? Who gives a fuck about Viva? What does that mean? That guy's, I don't know him. What I'm supposed to believe him about Fauci? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying to me? I don't know. People say, hey, so-and-so's on. Why don't you go to see so-and-so? Do me a favor. Go on Viva right now live and say, hey, we're watching Lionel. Why? Because we believe him. Because he's not a sellout like you. The guy could tell me what day of the week it was and I wouldn't believe it. What the hell good does that do? Why do people say that? These folks, I mean, I'm sorry. But you've got to live this one down. You made your bed, now lie in it. That's the way it is, period. I mean, I've gotten in trouble by a lot of people who basically didn't like what I said. After 2016, I said with 2020, I said, Trump's going to lose this thing. Forget any claims of electoral misdeed. And people went nuts. I said, he's not trying. He's not playing this right. He's not. I was right. I'm not going to lie to him. I'm not going to say something because somebody's paying me off. And there's a lot of things I can do, believe it or not. And I don't tell you what it is, but there are some folks, and I'm going to say this very, very, very carefully. There are some people who, and listen to me, do not believe in what Do not believe in what Candace is saying because of what she's saying, because they've studied it, they agree with it, it makes sense. But instead they're saying, if I just jump on this gravy train and this Hooterville, Tijuana taxi, whatever, well, it makes no sense, to whatever, then all of her people will just come with me. So I'm just going to say how great Candace is, even though I don't know what else she's talking about. I don't do that. I don't say that somebody's great just because, well, everybody seems to like that. Oh, no. The thing that impressed me about her was what she said, that all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute. Because many of us, but people, believe it or not, this came about really September, I hate to say it, but September the 10th of last year. This is when it really hit. So and by the way, I don't expect a badge or any kind of an award for at least having the wherewithal not to lie to you. But I don't say things just because I think this is advantageous career-wise. I think it's so wonderful. They just go out and just say, no. You see, there's a lot of folks out here. You got to understand something. There are people dying to find an edge, trying to find their channel. I don't blame them. This is what people do. This is capitalism. This is free enterprise. This is what it is. I've got a restaurant. I'm trying to find it. Should I go with this? Should I go with Thai or should I go with regular plain old Asian? Should I go with paninis or should I go with flatbread? Should I do this? What's good? What do people want? Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. Find out what to be. Should I be conservative? Should I be liberal? The only problem is that unlike making a flatbread pizza, when you say you believe something, there will be tells. There will be moments that you will slip and you don't realize it but they'll, immediately, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't believe it. He's just saying this. He's just saying. So I'm just saying, be very careful. And some of these people can go south so fast. So fast. It's like, wow. Unbelievable. In any event, my friends, wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that, just absolutely great? Unbelievable. Now, my friends, I ask you to please accept my deep and sincere thanks for you being a part of this. You have made this so. I cannot wait to speak to you every single day, whatever it is. And I mean to tell you that this is a very, very important. This is democracy. This is representative government. This is free speech where we get to speak collectively. And we are like our own independent grand jury. We don't have to ask the prosecution for permission to find our own justice. That's all. All right? All right, my friends. Do me a favor. Make sure also. Are you listening to Mearsheimer? Are you here? When I talk about prepare with Lionel, it's not a joke. Are you finding what's going on? Are you finding what's happening? Are you listening to what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz, with fertilizer? And they're running out of urea and helium. We had to buy. I thought you just made helium. I didn't even know where. We were trying to find a party balloon for a friend of ours. And helium, when that thing breaks down, we don't want to be, we think, well, everybody, we own all the farms. No, China owns a lot of these farms. So let me just tell you something. Just remember. There was a time when people used to think, well, this food preparation is crazy. No, it's not. My God, it's the smartest thing you can do. Enough with that. Any event, have a great and a glorious day. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much for this. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out, by the way, if you missed it, my interview yesterday with Buckley Carlson. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. What a mensch. And we will talk, you and I, later on this eve. And Candace, thank you, doll. Thank you. She's better than ever. Until then, my friend, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.